Hey gardeners, are you looking to add some beautiful color to your front porch or your front door for the spring season, or maybe somewhere on your back patio? Why not try a living wreath? Join me today as I share all about the living wreath that I recently purchased from KINSMAN Garden Company. I will share all the details, take you through how I plant it, and show you the end result. Let's get started. This is the area where I'm thinking of placing my living wreath, and it's just my side door to my garage. And I usually hang a wreath here around Christmas time, but not any other time of the year, and it really is in an ideal spot for a living wreath because it gets full sun here, and I have my light here that can illuminate it in the evening hours as well. So this is where I'm going to be placing the living wreath. I picked up some beautiful pansies and violas from a local nursery to me called Lava Cats. All different colors. Let's see if we can look at a couple here. Here's a pansy. The pansies are a little bit bigger than the violas. There's a little viola. Lots of different colors. There's yellow. And let's see, is this one? That one's like a little lilac color. Really pretty. Okay, I just want to show you what I'm working with today. This is the large living wreath form. It's the 24-inch diameter wire ring wreath from KINSMAN Garden Company. And I have purchased one other item from KINSMAN Garden Company, and I really have enjoyed it. It is my pergola arch, my pergola arbor that I have as you enter my backyard. And I wanted to try my hand at this living wreath, and I knew that the company was reputable. Now, with purchase, and they do send me a gardener's catalog from time to time, and there's so many good things in this catalog. It's just a lot of unique little items. There's trellises, there's cranes and hooks, lots of different things, plant stands, border supports, different gardener tools as well. And so it's kind of fun to look through this. See, here is my pergola arbor that I purchased, that I have my Generous Gardener Climbing Rose on. And I'm just going to see if I can find let me find the page where the large living wreath is on. Okay, this is what I purchased. It's the living wreath form, and it's basically I got the large size, the 24-inch. It's just a wire wreath form that you see here, and the wire wreath form is on the bottom, and then it has the wire top to it as well that you just clip on after you're done planting. Now this wreath, as you can see, I'm just going to take the top part off. It comes with this liner, and this is there's two of them here. I'm not quite sure why there's two of them, but this is a jute liner, that you can use to line your wreath, and then you're going to put the soil in and then plant your flowers or your plants. Now, I noticed that in the magazine, there is an optional choice. You can use the cocoa fiber moss. They do sell that too. That's on page 26 of this book. I didn't notice that when I placed my order, so I didn't order that moss. I think the jute will be okay. I was kind of feeling it, and it seems as though if you pull it apart that it is porous, and there will be enough room for the water to drain out. But they do also give you the option of using moss. I did purchase some super moss as well, just off of Amazon. If I don't end up using that, I can just return it, but I wanted to have that, just in case I wanted to add to the wreath, because I wasn't sure how the jute would work out. The directions seem pretty simple. You just flip it over, and basically it says, number 1, line the wire form with moistened moss. So that would either be the moss that I bought or just jute, and fill with potting soil and fertilizer mix, and then insert your plants. Position the top form over the plants and clip into position. And then something that's important is you want to lay your wreath flat for at least a couple of days until the plants are settled in. So we are going to give this a try. Okay, it says to pre-moisten your moss, and I'm assuming that goes for the jute as well. So I'm just going to, I don't think I'm going to use this piece because I don't see the purpose for it. So I'm just going to put that off to the side over here. And I'm going to moisten this piece here. And I just filled a bucket with some water right over here. I haven't been able to get out into the garden that much because it has been so rainy and cold here. All week last week it was rainy and cold. So there wasn't much happening in my garden. Today was a different story. It was a beautiful day, sunny and 50 degrees. So that felt a lot better than it has been feeling. But that's spring, up and down, you know. Don't know what you're going to get some days. Okay, so I am just putting this jute back into place. This is what it's looking like, and the next step is to fill it with potting mix. And I just have Miracle-Gro potting mix. That's what I'm using today. Now you can choose whatever plants that you like, you know, when you do your own living wreath. I know the picture in the KINSMAN Garden Company magazine, they did have one with pansies and violas, and that's, you know, what I'm going to do today. But they also had, you know, another picture, and I think there was some Dusty Miller. Let's see if I can show you again. There was some Dusty Miller. Okay, yeah, they did have, this is the example they showed, and it had polka dot plants, ageratum, and Dusty Miller. And then this one had the pansies and the violas, and that was my inspiration. I kind of liked the look of that one, and I love pansies and violas. You know, be creative and pick the flowers that you like when you're choosing plants for your living wreath. I have a flat of pansies, and I also have a flat of violas. So I'm going to start with the pansies. And I just thought they had all different colors. I liked all the different colors. You know, they've got the purple and the deep red with orange and yellow. And I'll probably have extra, and that's just fine by me because I can just plant those up in containers and, you know, add to my front porch, my spring front porch as well. I actually forgot that I wanted to add some fertilizer to my soil. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of some Biotone in there too, just to add to my soil. And you'll find that you just keep adding soil as you need it. I have a big bag of potting mix next to me here. Okay, I have added several pansies, and then I'm just going to go in between each pansy with some smaller violas. Okay, this is what I'm looking like so far, and I am going to add in some super moss. I'm just going to nestle it in between all the plants, and then I'm going to just put my top on, and then I'll water it in, and I'll let it sit for a couple days so that the plants can settle in. And this is what the super moss looks like. I'm just going to break it into little chunks and just nestle it in between my plants, just so they're a little more secure. And I also think it just kind of adds to the look. It adds to the look of the wreath. See, you can see up close how I've nestled the plants with the super moss, and I think it's just an extra added support. And I also think it looks pretty too. Looks like a little nest. You can also see here, if you have part of it that's kind of coming out, you can also use the moss to, let me see if I can do this here, kind of fill in some holes and support the jute as well. I decided to go all the way around the outside of the wreath as well, because I think it just looked a little bit prettier that way and more like a spring nest. So I'm just making my way around with the super moss, covering up the jute. And I'm running out of daylight here, so I might have to continue this tomorrow, but this is how we're looking, and I'll show you the finished product when we're all done. I am all done for now. Like I said, I'm going to water this in, let it sit for a couple of days. I did not overcrowd this. I did not plant tightly together because I know the pansies and the violas will get larger and grow together, and I do have plenty left over here, so if I have to fill in, I will, but I think it'll be okay. And I am just going to water this in. And we'll let it sit. I also have to put this top part on, the wire wreath, the wire ring, so you'll just try to gently put that on without squishing too many of the flowers. Oh. Well, some of them are kind of squished. Wonder if I could gently kind of move those off to the side. Yeah, gently. There we go. Here we are a few days later, and the wreath has pretty much settled in. I've watered it once really well in between that time, and I think everything is ready to go and it's ready to hang. The only thing I'm noticing is that I think I want to add more super moss and the cocoa fiber to line the inside of the wreath as well. I just kind of liked the look of that all the way around. I thought it looked really beautiful, like a little spring nest. So I'm just going to finish and add some super moss to the inside, and then we'll go ahead and hang it. Okay, so I simply just put a wreath hanger hook on this door, and let's try to hang this beautiful wreath. Here is the end result, and it looks beautiful. I love how it looks on this corner. It just adds a pop of color, and you may think that I didn't put enough pansies and violas in, but I didn't want to crowd it, and I know that the pansies and violas will expand, and it just is a matter of time. They just need a little bit of sun, some spring sun, and some regular watering, which I will be doing. So if you feel inspired or motivated by this video, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, maybe share with me your experience of planting up a living wreath, and I will see everybody in my next video. Happy Easter!